Hello and welcome to W2TV, shamelessly promoting our friends and community. And here we have one of our favorite friends from our favorite community, the ageless and timeless Faye Leung. Welcome to the show, Faye.
Thank you, Sid. It's a pleasure and an honor to have me here.
Well, it's a greater pleasure and honor for me and the show to have you here, especially to talk about what we're going to talk about, some of the old Chinese traditions that used to be here a number of years ago.
恭喜發財 today is Chinese New
新年
Year.
快樂。
新年快樂，恭喜發財. Happy Chinese New Year to each and everyone. Good health, happiness, joy, and prosperity.
Yeah.
And I'm third generation born and raised here. I'm born in Victoria and grew up in Vancouver, Chinatown. So we have old traditional customary ways of celebrating and honoring our custom. And we're from an old-fashioned, restricted, and very old customary families.
You remember actually exclusion. You grew up during the time of exclusion and very significant discrimination, legalized discrimination, right?
Well, that was the Exclusion Act and all that was before my time. But during my time, ever since I was a little young girl, I've been bestowed by the old Chinese community as an ambassador at large to fight for Chinese equality because we all suffered. We all suffered very harsh on this discrimination, restrictions, and taboos. It's so bad that my mother and aunts, her sibling, were not allowed to enter the Western Canadian system. So their English illiterate. That's how the old Chinese school started. Grandfather in Victoria, since 1881, our grandfather family he was the first merchant that textile, manufacture all the clothing for CPR, steamship chef, and linens and the tablecloths and the towels for the Bay and Eaton stores. So anyhow, to make a long story short, that no matter how discriminated we were, the Chinese family honored its tradition. We honored Chinese New Year by our own custom, remembering what we should do to bring and continue good luck, good health, and prosperity and happiness to the family generation to come. So what do we do? The most important that we do, other than everybody gets together and wishing each other we don't at that time 恭喜發財. That was for the convenience for the Western society in the Western years. It's mainly just 恭喜新年快樂.
新年快樂.
Happy New Year's joy. And New Year Eve, 年卅晚, that's the eve of the Chinese New Year. Then we had to be sure, and I follow that traditions after my parents, and I still do. And we have to cook a big pot of beautiful symbolic soup that has all those ingredients that is blessing. What is it? Sang choy, which is blooming prosperity.
Long life too, right?
No, siu choy.
Siu choy.
It's long life. That's siu choy. Okay. That's long life. That's longevity, healthy longevity. Fat choy. That's
obvious
you call the black, whatever. Excuse me, fat choy. That's for bringing prosperity and making lots of money and all that. Ho si, oyster, good things.
Right, good.
Ho si. Yeah. Those are the four most important, plus all the rest. The gai, which is the chicken with the head and the tail, which I had with the Jewish community years ago, had fought with the city hall that allowed that to continue sell in the store because the city decided that you can't sell the chicken whole with heads and tail anymore. But the Chinese and the Jewish use it for the ritual, for the honoring this.
For the ritual,
and that's why the whole chicken, the beginning and the end and holy and everything is into that beautiful pot. Big pot.
Yeah. Tell me some of the other things besides food, like in terms of clothes and getting haircuts or not getting haircuts and going for baths and not going for baths.
有錢冇錢洗頭過年. Whether you have money or no money, you wash your hair to enjoy and welcome the new year. That's first and foremost. So I don't know if you had your shampoo yesterday or not, but I did.
I did. No, I know about this. I do that too.
So that's one of the tradition. And the important part is that all the family get together on Chinese New Year Eve. So in the beginning, that's New Year Eve. Today, Chinese New Year Day, which they don't eat meat. They vegetarian. They call it the Buddha vegetarian. You know, like,
oh my God!
No meat. It's like sai fan and anything that is not meat, mushrooms and things like that. Then the next day, which is 年初一, would be the opening of the new year. 開年啦. Then you can eat. Yeah, then you can all
eat anything you want.
Yeah, you eat the roast and the pigs and what have you. Then.
My God, I just bought $30 worth of roast pork.
Okay, well you eat it tomorrow.
I'm eating it today. You know, one thing my grandfather taught me, you know, and I know Faye, you'll appreciate this. My grandfather always taught me, amongst all this stuff, we did it all, and he'd always dismiss it with, you know, it's bad luck to be superstitious. You know, like...
We're not superstitious. We are honoring a tradition that is customary, that has the blessing, and the blessing is for the future, and today and yesterday, happiness become even more plentiful, more joyous, and more good fortune and good luck. Now, that's where comes in the good luck. That's what is really... You folks have changed it, especially people from China, because they don't want to call lazy, because that sounds corrupted. But if they go diplomatically, give me a red envelope, and I'm talking about adults, I'm not talking about kids. So that means it's a corrupted package. But however, coming back to our traditional and our belief, it's really lazy. Lazy means it's your good fortune. This is for good fortune, good happiness, and joy. It's not the amount of that is in the red paper. Now, in those days, there's no such red envelope. 紅紙 is a red paper.
Red paper.
And the red paper, they write a memo on it and a notice board and all that, but it's red paper. So they wrap they see the money, whether it's a quarter or $5, it's still lacy in the red paper. And then in the modern years, in the last 20, 30 decade, commercialism, so naturally Hong Kong started producing red envelopes.
Red envelopes.
So that, and I mean the envelope with designs like, you know, each year the year of the snake, the year of the dragon and all that.
And they got bank advertising on it, or they got department store advertising on it.
Yeah, Manufacture Life, Canada Trust.
But anyhow, when I was a kid, we used to call that lucky money in English.
Lacy,
Lacy,
lacy, and that's what bugs me, because every time I pick up a paper,
every time I got it, I felt pretty lucky.
Yeah, it is. That's what it's all about, and it's the lucky money. It's called lacy. It's not red envelope. Yeah. And when I pick up the paper, and everybody talking about red envelope,
that's Hong Bao. You know, the Hong Bao is.
What is a red envelope? Right? What is it? What does
News
it mean?
To me, I never knew about that.
It doesn't mean a thing. You can give red envelope any time of year.
Yeah.
But for Chinese New Year, it's lacy. Whether it's Chinese New Year, weddings for the bride, or Christmas, if you don't want to buy a gift, you give lacy to save shopping. Yeah. And New Year, regular New Year on January the 1st, for all the kids. Yeah. No matter how old you are, if you're not married, you still get lacy. Yeah.
Tell me a little about the dress, and there are sort of certain kinds of things that go on. You're supposed, you know, and how you're supposed to dress, and when you're, you know, how you do it.
Well,
tell me.
In the old days, everybody get a whole set of new clothes, from head to toe, everything, stockings, shoes. The boys get trousers, the girls get skirt or dresses, and of course, cheongsam. The girls then would have the Chinese keipo, which would Hong Kong style called, but in our style is cheongsam, which is cheongji. In the old days, your grandfather would call it cheongji, and then the men would have the Mandarin cheongsam ma kwa, you know, the men's Chinese, and then the ma kwa is the jacket, and if they want, they can wear the hat, but generally not. But that's the formal wear, cheongsam ma kwa for the men. But in those days, they would make sure that everybody, particularly the kids, no matter how old they are, they would be dressed properly in new clothes, new bonnet.
Nice hat. We forgot to mention that. I need to ask you before we leave, and we have to go pretty soon, but That is a beautiful hat, and we actually asked you to come in not to wear a wide brim hat so we can get the lighting. So thank you very much, for being with
well,
us.
this is my Chinese New Year hat this year. But in our days, we always have hats, gloves, shoes, and nice stockings for the girls, nice socks, dress pattern shoes, and everything. And that was the norm of families, noble family must. And the ladies' custom in those days, you always have to have a hat. So opening the legislation and teas and functions and churches. And the men have hats, four-season hat, straws to humbuck to felt, but they must take their hats off when they're indoor. That's the custom and regulation. So being born in Victoria and in Vancouver, all the ladies have hat all along, and I kept that tradition because I was trained and dressed that way. And only reason why, I'll tell you one more secret and we'll go. Why did the hat didn't go out with the ladies and the men? Because the beehive hairdo came in the 60s. And the ladies can't wear their hats because they're high hairdo. Yeah. Then the men, the low car came in, the Lotus and the short car, and the men have to kowtow each time they go into the car, so the hat would swim up.
Yeah.
So
Faye, we got to get going. We could talk to you for a long, long time.
No, that's it.
Okay.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year thing then, Faye Leung. Thanks for being with us, Faye.
Sunday, Faye Leung.
Yeah. We've had Faye Leung with us, the ageless and timeless Faye Leung, to talk about Chinese New Year's traditions here on W2TV, shamelessly promoting our friends and community. I'm Sid Tan. Thank you for being with us.